Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so this has been a long time coming. Haven't made a weekly outlook or a daily outlook in a long time. Got a lot of things going on the back end. Definitely want to get the new video series for beginning trading all the way to where we're at now set up and set that up perfectly for anybody that's just getting started. So right now we're looking at the Australian dollar. US dollar chart right now. So we're just going to go over this and then we'll go over ahead and go into the majors. Now, with everything being said, they definitely, me and Adam took this pair. I think he got in pretty close to these lows sitting right there. I did go ahead and have a sell from the top all the way to the bottom, and then Friday he entered the sell, and I also entered the sell when I woke up on Friday morning, and we did go ahead and keep the sell in. So currently, wait. Sorry, this was the sell that I took. These are the entries that we took for this. Price came back up, reached this zone of bullshit. I guess that's what I'm calling it because it needs to be broken, and it needs to be broken high. Okay, this false break up there. Basically, we had a retest of this descending trend line. We've got 1, 2 false break, and then it's just getting overlapped with price action. So looking on a weekly time frame, and this is what we're looking at. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th week of rejections of the daily support, sitting at 73,600 area, and you can see all these wicks to the downside. There's a lot of support and a lot of price action pushing this pair to the upside. So with everything being said, you can see the moving averages actually widening all the way from April 6th, where we had a retest of the monthly support sitting, or monthly resistance sitting at 77,500, and then we have the downfall of this pair. Pull that to a 1 on the daily time frame, we can start seeing that price action is showing that there's a lot of consolidation in this zone. So this zone can be blocked in, showing a lot of consolidation from June 19th all the way up to where we're at now. So this is today's candle. Put this on a 4-hour time frame, and we can see a lot of price action. We do show price penetrating, but it needs to close above these highs sitting right there. So I'm looking at price to come up to 74,400. Give a nice close. We do have Australian news coming out later tonight around 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. So that's another 3 hours and 20 minutes. We'll see what happens at that time. But with price action showing and breaking this descending trend line, basically came back, retests this false break. Price comes back up. We do have the moving averages crossing over and shooting up to the upside. But again, we did have the same scenario in the past. So in order for USD or AUD USD to continue to the upside, we do need a nice break and close. Now, this area sitting over here, 74,400, is a nice area of resistance as well. We've got prior support sitting back over here, and you can see the highs of these candles, these wicks, right in there. So anything above that and a close above that will basically allow me to go with the overall projection of price hitting all the way up to 75. I do got price going all the way up to 75,700 area, and that's where I'm going to stay. But 75, that is weekly resistance. Since we're that close to it, what talking about, let's see, about I'm not going to do the math, but it will be hit if it gets that close, okay, guaranteed. We just have to have price action confirmed, and it has to close above these highs sitting up here. I do expect price, once it breaches the daily resistance sitting at 74,300 area, a possible retest up here and possible pullback, and then hopefully price will continue to the upside. So if you're not in this pair, I would definitely wait until price reacts against these highs, shows a pullback. Put this on a 1-hour time frame, and you can kind of measure and see what price action is showing you. If you didn't take this pair with that bearish engulfing candle sitting right there, then that was right before, that was last night. So that's where my stop was right below this low before I went to bed, came down, hit it, and then took me out, but I still have my pair sitting down over here. So let's go ahead and move into the Euro USD, and we can see a nice decline, but we have to look at price action as a whole. Let's go ahead and move to the weekly time frame, and we can see that price is still inside this consolidation area of a wedge. So move this to a daily time frame, and you can see a little bit clearly of what's going on. So this is a nice support zone sitting on daily, sitting around 116,500 area. We do have price basically retested and then came back up. We do have price also coming back down to possibly retest this area once more. Until there's a break above or below this, I wouldn't even trade this pair. This is a nice huge long range, but you can expect once there's a break, look for a retest either to the highs or to the lows. We do have price basically riding midway between monthly support sitting at 114.5 and also weekly resistance sitting at 119.250. We're in the midsection. This is coming to the apex of that triangle. Once it breaks to either side, then we'll go ahead and take that pair. But one thing I do want to mention to you is once price gets to the apex, either going either way, you can go ahead and throw your fib on there. And let's just say that we're looking for price to go ahead and move to the upside. Whoops. So let's just say overall direction is moving to the upside. A lot of times when you see price action going to the apex of this, there's going to be a breakout, okay, guaranteed, either going either way, and it can go either way. So if we were expecting price to move to the upside, here's the possibility on this pair. Price did go ahead and breach the 50% zone, okay? Anytime it gets close to the apex, you're going to see price action react at the 50% zone, going either direction. If price was moving to the downside, price would only go about 50% before it makes the breakout go in that direction. So there's that possibility that price will hold around, we're talking about 116,600 area, and if that does hold and it breaks out, then it's guaranteed to go up to the upside. We can see that price will be able to take out zone 1 and then zone 2. A nice 117, about 118 would be target 1, and then target 2 would be, I would just take it to that high sitting right there, about 118,400 area. But again, until price action shows which way it's going to go, I would just basically leave this pair alone. Next pair we're going to go into is USD JPY, and we can see that we have multiple tests. One, second retest. Price did go ahead and break above the weekly support, weekly resistance of above 120, or I'm sorry, 112. It did go ahead and shoot back down. We have the moving averages getting ready to cross over. Again, that's on a daily. Put this on a lower time frame, and you can see what price is doing at this point. We do have momentum going to the downside. It did go ahead and come back up, and you've got a nice little wedge pattern sitting right there as well. So I do expect US dollar to go ahead and move to the downside. I don't think that this will hold. So if it does, we'll go ahead and monitor these highs sitting around 111,500 area. If it holds, it should go ahead and use the moving averages, use this moving average as a dynamic resistance zone as well. Again, if that holds, I would definitely look for more selling opportunities on USD JPY. Move that to a 1 hour time frame, and again, you know, the markets are slowing down. We're in Sydney, just opened up. We're waiting on Asian session to start up in probably in about what 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll see what happens at that point in time. But again, you can notice that on a 4 hour time frame, we do have, I can just probably clean that up just a little bit more. As you can see, there's a touch, price road continued, goes in consolidation, rises, goes in consolidation, and then we have price reacting at these highs sitting at 113,200. Nice little M pattern before the fall from yesterday, and I do expect with this fall that we can probably measure that next move. Just to be safe, if we get a nice break to the downside, you can go ahead and which will also coincide with the lows over here. So 108,800 would be a safe bet that price will go ahead and hit if it breaks from this ascending trend line. Okay, if it don't hold, you can expect price to probably come back, react around 112, because this high over here basically coincides with this high over here before the downfall. Okay, but again, anything with the drop on USD JPY, price has to break this zone sitting right there, and I do think that it will. You do also have monthly support sitting at 110. So if you don't get into this pair on the pullback, if it does pull back, you can actually expect something to happen around the 110 area. This also aligns with the 61.8 fib zone as well. Next pair we're going to look at is going to be GBP USD. I've got a small buy-in from this morning, and I took that pair sitting right there because overall I'm expecting this move to be duplicated and to come up to 132,500. Basically the same scenario on USD JPY. Whoops, not what I want. And I want to move that right there. All right, so overall direction, 132,500, and this will also coincide with the fourth bounce. Now, I do expect price to continue to the upside, but again, there's a lot of talks of Britix, so I would be cautious when trading anything paired with GBP. All right, there's always going to be that opportunity where price is going to go ahead and drop or rise depending on the outcome of that, especially with Sallie Mae and she's speaking. So the only thing that I was looking at on GBP USD is what is price doing. We've got a nice reaction zone from monthly support sitting at 130. We did have a false break. Price did come back up, retest, and then rose. Okay, so if you're measuring your higher highs and higher lows, you can see that you've got price coming on a 4-hour time frame. Lower highs, lower lows. Price did go ahead and react, broke this high, came back, retested support sitting on right there. I could clean that up just a little bit more. Nope, it's not what I want. And about right there. Whoops. Come on, work with me. There we go. All right, so if you're looking at this, and this is exactly what I was looking at today, we've got 1, 2, and then a nice break. We do have price breaking the prior lower lows, creating higher highs and higher lows. Until price reaches 132,500, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this pair in. But I did go ahead and collect on or stay in from the bottom. We do have price acting on that MA, using that as dynamic support. We do also have the cross of the moving averages. I was just looking for a pullback. Remember, anytime that you're buying or selling, you got to tell yourself, and especially when you're looking for entries, is give me a better price and I'll buy or sell, depending on which way that you're looking for the market to move. All right. Now, I did go ahead and throw in a little fib as well from that low, that high, and nothing. Okay, price never did come back down to the 50%. It did go ahead and retest that high that it broke. So a little support or resistance now acting as support. Price came back down, retested, and I went ahead and took that on a 4-hour time frame. Moving that to a 1-hour time frame, my confluence was that bearish engulfing candle sitting right there. Okay, that's why I took that pair. Let's see, I got 1 more minute before this video ends. There's a few more pairs that I'm going to go ahead and get into. And let's see what that's doing for right now. Go, go, go. I just want that sucker to ride. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out on this. I'll go ahead and get the next few pairs in here in a short bit.